everyone, my name is Kiri from the blog healthfullyrootedhome.com, where I talk about clean cooking, non-toxic living, and an organized home. So I am doing a video today on my meal planning system. When I first got married, my whole routine was totally flipped upside down when it came to meal plan. I mean, really when it came to everything, but you know, I was in a new house, I had a whole other human to cook for. So I created a system that works perfectly for me and my family, and that's what I'm gonna talk to you about today. It was really important to me to have a system that was easy to have someone come into my house or my husband Joey duplicate it, because I was pregnant with him when I created it. And so I wanted it to take like 5 minutes, to meal plan for the whole week, 5 minutes. And I mean, what meal planning system does that? And then it needed to be easily customizable. I needed to be able to make healthy and filling meals because my husband eats a lot of food. And I actually eat a lot of food too. So we're big eaters. We really like good food, and I do like cooking. I just don't want to spend all day in the kitchen. Basically, I just start out with a binder and I separate the binder with dividers. And then I have sheet protectors that I put all my different recipes in. So the dividers separate my fall and winter meal plan from my spring and summer meal plan. And so my spring and summer meal plan has just more seasonally appropriate meals, and so does my fall and winter one. So spring and summer, oh bless you. Spring and summer will have, fresh herbs, and this is when we will, use our fruits and vegetables from our garden and just fresh meals. Whereas my fall and winter meal plan has, I use a lot of warm spices and comfort food, and I'll get out my Dutch oven and I'll cook. I'll make some soup and just heartier meals. And so that was nice because I also really wanted variation in my meal plan. So I split them up between those two blocks of seasons, summer, spring, or spring and summer, fall and winter. This is something that you can customize. I only wanted to repeat each meal about 4 times. And so I knew if there are 52 weeks in a year, that I would need about 65 meals if I do 5 meals per week. So all I did was I gathered up all of my, our favorite recipes that, we love, our staple recipes that we cook all the time. I went on Pinterest and I gathered up, a bunch of recipes that I had been meaning to make, cookbooks. I gathered everything, all the recipes, and I picked the ones that I wanted to put in each seasonal block, and that's what I did. And now I'm constantly creating new recipes, especially on the weekends. Sometimes rotate recipes out by doing it that way. But that's essentially what I do. So after I gathered up, however many recipes I needed for the year, that was my whole year. And so then I put it in this template, and you don't have to use a template. I actually have a free ebook that has my entire meal plan template for free. And so it has my template for each meal, which I'll explain to you. And then it also has grocery lists and tips for a balanced meal plan. That's for free in the link down below. So anyways, you don't have to use that though. You could literally just, print off recipes from Pinterest or write them down or whatever. This method does take a little bit of work up front. And that is one thing, but every method is going to take a little bit of work up front. If you're meal planning, especially for the whole year like I do, it's going to take a little bit of upfront work, but then you have your meals planned out for the whole year. So it's worth it to me. So then that's what I do. So then I pick which seasonal block I want that meal to go in, and I put them in the sheet protectors, and then I separate each week, okay, with little sticky tabs. And the sticky tabs tell me when the start of a new week is. Well, I don't meal prep lunches. I use the dinner from the night before for the next day's lunch. So I know that I just have to make extra dinner or enough dinner for both Joey and I that night and lunch for both Joey and I the next day. So you also have to know how many lunches you need in a week. So for example, in our family, Joey works Monday through Thursday. So I know on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, he can kind of fend for himself with whatever we have. So I know that I need 4 meal preppable dinners. So that's something else that you want to think about too, with when you're planning out your weeks, is make sure that you have the amount of lunches that you need for the week. You have that many meal preppable dinners. Okay, so that's how I do the weeks. Now I'm going to break it down by day. Okay, so you've seen the whole picture, right? It's the 2 blocks, the 2 seasonal blocks. That's the big picture with all the recipes. And then you've seen the weeks where I break it down depending on how many meals I need that week. And now I'm going to break it down by day. Each day is a recipe. It's super simple, right? So I have each of my recipes broken out into 3 blocks. We have quick facts in the first block, which just has the meal name, the total time that it'll take me to cook the meal. Is it meal preppable? Meaning, can I make it for lunch the next day? And then instructions for the night before. This is key, and I recommend either highlighting this or bolding it, whatever you need to do, because sometimes you need to defrost meat. Sometimes you need to maybe soak grains or feed your sourdough starter. That's the first block, quick facts. Second block is ingredients, and this ingredient section is key for me to just be able to quickly look at the ingredients I need for that week and put them on my list. Third block is instructions. At this point, this is where I really kind of skimp. Unless it's a new recipe for me, I don't usually have a ton of information in there. You might want to detail that section out. But if you're doing a lot of recipes that are staples for you and you've always done, then just go ahead and, put basics in there. I never remember what I have to preheat the oven at. So literally my instructions sometimes are preheat to 400. And that's all I need to know for that recipe. Okay. So that is each day. That's how I break it down. Now what I do is at the beginning of each week, or actually at the end of the week before for the next week, I go through my meal plan and I go through the ingredient section. I look at what we have in our fridge and in our pantry, and I make a grocery list. I don't ever grocery shop anymore. I do a pickup order from Fred Meyer. So I literally just go onto my Fred Meyer app and I put in everything that I need for that week as I go through my template. So then also what I do is at the end of a week, once I've done all my meals for that week, I take the pages from that week and I put them in the back. And then I just rotate through. So I take that block of pages, let's say there were 5 recipes, I take those 5 recipes and I place them in the back of that seasonal block. So I know I haven't talked about breakfast, and I also know that I said that I don't bulk meal prep. The one thing that I bulk meal prep is breakfast. And the way that I do breakfast is I have a list of a bunch of breakfast recipes that we like. I'm gonna just go through that list each week and I decide which ones we want to make for that week. And so I usually do like 1 or 2 breakfast options. We do need to have a little bit more variation. So I typically choose 2 breakfast options. And that's the one thing that I bulk meal prep, and I prep it on Sundays, either after I grocery shop, or not grocery shop, but pick up my grocery order, or when I am cooking dinner, while I'm cooking dinner. So I truly feel like I'm hardly ever in the kitchen just for the daily kind of cooking things. When I'm in the kitchen, it's to make dinner, which with my system, it has become not stressful, it's more fun. And on the weekends when I practice new recipes, okay, so if I'm only cooking 4 or 5 meals a week, then, well, there's, 2 or 3 more days of the week, right? So what do? We use up all of our leftovers. We're a huge leftover family. We love leftovers. And so we typically, by the end of those 5 days, have tons of leftovers that it's just kind of a smorgasbord. How do I say that word? Smorgasbord? Smorgasbord? I don't know. A hodgepodge of leftovers. Oh, I have what I call easy meals or quick meals. And these are things, they're healthy meals that are in the freezer or the pantry. They do exist, and I'll do a video on that. And it's something that we can just easily cook up in 5 minutes when we're exhausted from the weekend. And I don't want to use any brain power to think about what to eat. Okay, so also with this method, there are always going to be times you need to take a meal out and replace it with a new one. But with this method, it makes it so easy to do that. I usually have a ton of recipes on deck just ready to put in my meal rotation, just because I practice recipes all the time. I'm constantly creating new recipes. And so that's never an issue for me. But there are times where a recipe is just not working out for us. So, for example, we went through a phase where we really loved shrimp scampi, and so I put that in the meal rotation. And then the last couple times I made it, we were just not feeling it. We were kind of like dreading it. We were like, oh, does not sound good. And so easy. I took it out of the meal rotation and I put something else in. And there were no hiccups in the process, right? So, it's so easily customizable, and I know that no meal plan works for everyone. I totally understand that. But I really do think that because my system is so customizable that it will work for most people. I will say, if you are kind of a fly by the seat of your pants person, this is not going to work for you. But if you are a planner like me, this is going to be perfect for you. And if that's the case and you want to follow my meal planning system, I have, like I said before, a free ebook in the link below, and it's my whole template, and there's some tips on there for a balanced meal plan. I'll go through a couple of them now. One thing is make sure that in any given week, you balance out your proteins. So, for example, you don't want to eat chicken 5 days a week. I mean, we eat a ton of chicken, so we probably could. But kind of vary it. So do a chicken dish one day, a fish dish another day, beef another day. So just kind of round out your weeks like that with your proteins. Another big tip is what I find with this system is that it's so nice when I can pair recipes together that are similar or that use similar ingredients, like especially ingredients that you don't ever use all of. So for example, cilantro. That was something that we were constantly like throwing some of it away by the end of the week. And it's because for one dish, we weren't using all of it. And so I would just pair 2 dishes in 1 week that use cilantro, and you know, now we use up all of our cilantro. Anyways, there's more tips in my ebook. If you liked this, if you could please like it on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, follow me for more tips on clean cooking, non-toxic living, and an organized house.